The ancient Devil King is the strongest in this world. All of his knowledge is passed down onto a book. It is called the Book of Nine Secrets. By practicing this book, you can reach the world of heaven and earth. This book is in the hands of our MC, the Magic Emperor Zhuo Fan. This information leaked out, and for that he is now the target of all the martial arts experts. A man reported that his troops are defeated and killed, and now his enemies are advancing towards them. His name is Zhao Cheng. He is the disciple of the Magic Emperor. He is also worried that the 7 emperors will now arrive soon. However, he is not worried. Even if they combine, they are no match for him. He then go out to meet them. The enemy demanded for him to hand the book over, but he easily killed these guys. The 7 emperors have now arrived. They demanded the book. But still the Magic Emperor will not give the book. One of the emperors claimed that the book belongs to them, and is the relic of the ancient emperor. But he does not care. Even if he becomes a villain, he will kill them all. Right before attacking, he was surprised. He was now stabbed in the heart. He was betrayed by no other than his disciple, someone he taught and raised ever since he was a child. The reason the disciple betrayed him is that because he does not want his master reading the book, and then even prevents him from reading it. Sensing that he was about to die, the Magic Emperor decided to self-destruct. He wants to destroy the book alongside with his body, so no one can get it. However, his story does not end there. Bodies lay in a pile in a quiet part of the forest, the aftermath of a gruesome battle. The air reeked of blood, drawing all kinds of wild animals to feast on their flesh. Is this the current me? He checked his hands as his eyes glazed over. His name was Zhuo Fan, 15 years of age, a servant of the Zhuo clan at Cloud Manor. His life was happy and carefree, until 3 days ago when a band of Blackwind Mountain bandits butchered the manor. He, along with some guards, escorted the young master and young miss as they fled, only to find his end in this forest at the hands of their pursuers. In his final breaths, he was filled with an obsession. It was this that drew the drifting demonic Emperor Zhuo Fan's resentment and allowed the demonic emperor to possess him. Zhao Chen, you would have never imagined the 9 Serenity's secret records as a way of possessing someone without the need of a soul. Wait for me, I will soon return to Sacred Domain and behead you myself. His eyes shrank, and he shook his head as he was about to leave. The previous Zhuo Fan would have done his best in helping the man. But he was now replaced by the demonic Emperor Zhuo Fan. To Yifan, the Zhuo clan were nothing but ants to him. Seeing the insidious Zhuo Fan watching him like a rogue watched a beauty, the guard's heart never knew rest as he shouted, "You're not Zhuo Fan." The evil laughter further emphasized Zhuo Fan's malevolent look. I am the Sacred Domain's 8th Emperor, demonic Emperor Zhuo Fan. Black streams came from his palm, twisting like worms as they burrowed into the guard's body. The moment they entered, the guard's face changed. His horrified visage, twisted from pain, now darkened, the face pale from the extreme blood loss. With each passing moment, the man inched closer to turning as black as charcoal. In the dark night, even if one paid attention, no one would claim him to be a human. An hour later, Zhuo Fan took back his hand and sat cross-legged, beginning to refine the new Yuan key. A loud sound echoed, and the rock crumbled under the frail Zhuo Fan's punch. Man, this demon transformation art is fantastic. Zhuo Fan couldn't help smacking his lips, being secretly delighted. It won't be long before I return to the Sacred Domain. He. Zhuo Fan snickered. With steps as light as a cat, he neared a bush. Zhuo Fan pushed aside the leaves to see 2 parties in a stalemate. One had more than a dozen men, Owo clan's guards surrounding an 18-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy. The other group wore black and was led by an old man, over 20 people. The man was familiar to Zhuo Fan. He recalled seeing him in the Luo clan as their steward. Then the pair surrounded by the guards had to be Luo clan's young master, Luo Yunhai, and young miss, Luo Yunchang. Humph! No wonder the mountain bandits breached the tight security of the Luo clan guards. We had a traitor amongst us. With his strength, he had no way of helping them. Besides, there was nothing tying him to the Luo clan. It just wasn't worth throwing his life away for. Yet, he only took 2 steps before his heart seized with pain. The 3rd step never came. In fear, Zhuo Fan tightened a hand over his chest. The pain was so excruciating, it brought him to his knees, mumbling, "What's going on?" Did my cultivation deviate? His heart whirled with panic. If he deviated right as he built his foundation, the result wasn't as simple as losing all progress. He would never again be capable of cultivation. He would become a cripple. No! This isn't deviation, but a heart demon. Before being possessed, Zhuo Fan was a devoted servant. Luo clan's young miss was very kind to him, and so he pledged lifelong devotion to the clan. The resentment before death was born out of regret for not protecting the Luo clan. Blast it! This punk is the worst. He wants me to be a servant. Zhuo Fan wanted to cry, but no tears came out as he kept cursing. Helpless, he caressed his forehead. It would be better if a punk like you wished for vengeance instead. This way, it would have taken me a few years to kill him. Yet, you went and ruined my life. Who's there? Show yourself. Seeing who it was, Steward's son smiled with derision. Humph. I wondered who it could be when in fact it was just a little bastard. Young miss, I advise you to hand over the returning dragon palm martial art to avoid any unnecessary casualties. I don't think you want that either. Steward's son threw his head back and laughed, eyes filled with mockery. Even the bandits followed with their taunting laughter, not hiding their ridicule. While the guards looked at him in doubt, even his former friends who were familiar with him looked at him oddly. The enemy isn't aware. He suddenly dashes towards the young miss and master. One hand held Luo Yunhai while the other grabbed the young miss, running like hell deeper into the forest. Luo Yunchang was still in a daze, letting him pull her. Steward's son saw the target slipping away again and panicked after them. But the captain and his guards were there to block them. Humph, think you can stop us? Steward's son said with cruelty. The captain smiled and shook his head. No, but we can buy them some time for them to get away. Wait, we can't just leave them. Luo Yunchang recovered after a while and said anxiously. We need to go back. We can't let the guards throw their lives away for us. Can you beat them? Asked Zhuo Fan. But she was a young miss after all, and even though her anger never waned, she still knew to look past it in this dangerous situation. There's only farmland around us for 100 miles, and the west face of the Blackwind Mountain is the only place that few people venture in. It is a forest covered in fog that not even the mountain bandits know in detail. Then, that's where we'll go. Zhuo Fan nodded. Carry your brother and lead the way. Young miss, want to kill Steward's son and the rest here? Zhuo Fan turned his head. They only numbered 3 while a strong party was hunting them down, and they had hardly enough time to escape. Just how were they going to destroy them? With a light smile, Zhuo Fan extended his arm. Young miss, how many spirit stones do you have? Please give them all to me. Luo Yunchang rubbed her pitiful brother's butt as she thought that, but still gave him her ring. This is all my wealth. If you dare lie to me, I will never forgive you." Zhuo Fan took it with a smile and sank in the mist. 9 underworld gates open. For Cardinal Wraithray, activate. He wind shifted and the sky darkened. With whales, gray shadows fell from the sky and hid in the misty forest. The fog reddened, then blackened, the same color as the sky. The siblings held closer to each other, shaking in fear while taking steps back for some semblance of comfort. "What just happened? What did you do?" Wu Yuncheng watched him with bewilderment. He only waved and entered the forest. "Follow me." Wu Yuncheng was suspicious, however she led her brother behind. Zhuo Fan had a mysterious appearance that made the two not voice their doubts. Arrays were even more precious than martial arts in this world. No sect would ever dare release even a normal array to the outside. Even if the auction had a first-grade array, it would still sell for hundreds of thousands of spirit stones. They were rare and in high demand. Steward's son, they went towards the misty forest. 10 miles outside the misty forest, a lanky bandit checked for tracks and reported to him. Steward's son looked at the bound captain, and his eyes flashed with an evil glint. "Captain Pan, you're up soon. With how kind young Mrs., she won't ignore your pleas. Don't think you can use me to threaten young Miss." His eyes were bloodshot as he glared at Steward's son. "You'd better kill me, or I will murder you and avenge my fellow guards." Before they could get any closer, snoring came from a man sleeping against a tree. A careful look identified him as Zhuo Fan. "Steward's son, it's the one who killed the fatty." Woken up by the voice, Zhuo Fan yawned and opened his weary eyes. Seeing Steward's son and co., he showed no fear, no anxiety. Instead, a smile. Zhuo Fan cut to the chase instead of replying. "Steward's son, want to make a deal." "What deal?" "I'll give you the Luo clan's young master and mistress. So secure my career in Blackwind Mountain." Not only was Steward's son shocked, but even the guard captain was also dumbfounded. He rested his hopes on Zhuo Fan to take the siblings far away. Who'd have thought Zhuo Fan would defect and use them as bargaining chips? "Why are you doing this?" "Luo clan hasn't scorned you," doubts arose in Steward's son's heart. As he calmed himself, Zhuo Fan continued, "Every man for himself. With how much the Luo clan has fallen, reviving it isn't something one man can do. Why should I walk towards my death? Using them to secure my life is but human nature." He picked up a red rope from the ground that trailed into the mist. "Young Miss is at one of the ends of the rope. I left a few forks on the rope along the way that only I know about." Steward's son nodded as he grabbed it. "Good plan, to use a rope to mark your way. And you even included forks to safeguard the right trail for yourself." At the heart of the misty forest, where it was impossible for anyone to escape, Zhuo Fan stopped. "What is it?" Steward's son was feeling apprehensive, tightening his grip on Zhuo Fan's clothes. With a snicker, Zhuo Fan said, "Steward's son, we'll be parting here. It's best if you travel the underworld river without me." With acute fear, Steward's son discovered he had fallen into Zhuo Fan's trap. He pulled Zhuo Fan close and slapped him. The clothes were turned to ribbons, but instead of Zhuo Fan, they held a log. He'd been holding tight onto Zhuo Fan to prevent his escape, yet reality showed the opposite. "Turn back, quick!" Steward's son rushed towards the direction from where they came. As soon as he shouted, the men used the rope to retrace their path. But then, a shout came from the mist. "The rope has been cut." With Zhuo Fan's mad laughter as the signal, the mist reddened. "Why is the mist turning red?" Steward's son could hardly believe what was happening. See can this be? An ray. Standing in the center of the ray, Luo Yuncheng was clear of the situation. Her eyes drifted to Zhuo Fan, filled with intrigue. Squinting, Zhuo Fan kept a cold and callous expression as he said, "Kill them." She followed his order by following his hand signs. The blood-red fog changed again, this time black, and swallowed all that laid within. Now they couldn't even see themselves. With fear as their only companion, they lost all their will to resist once the black streams of energy started burrowing inside them. They felt their souls being devoured yet were powerless to resist. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, 9 underworld wraiths returned to me. Zhuo Fan's hands moved as he stole the ray from under Luo Yuncheng's control while also making the clear figures of Steward Sun and the rest disappear from her mind. The misty forest was drowned with shrieks and wails. Steward Sun and the rest became pitch black but still had a sliver of awareness left as black shadows left their body. In the darkness, the shadows returned like bees to Zhuo Fan and entered his body. The still black Yuan Qi inside him boiled as it charged through his meridians and settled in his dantian. And his power grew with it. In an instant, he entered the 6th layer of foundation establishment. In the next instant, he was in the 7th. And then, he was at peak 7th layer. He kept going like this through the 8th layer, then the 9th, until the peak of foundation establishment. He opened his eyes and took a deep breath as he clenched his hands, feeling the power course through him. This time, it wasn't as easy. The wraiths were almost spent when he demonified the Yuan Qi for himself. But with his experience as a veteran demonic cultivator, he understood that breaking through in a state of exhausted Yuan Qi held much more value for his future progress. He clenched his teeth and operated the cultivation method. He sucked the wraiths dry and used the remaining Yuan Qi he had to make one final push. He showed a small smile as he looked at the sky. Now that I'm in the Qi condensation stage, I can practice some martial arts. A clear shout came from Luo Yuncheng as she came over, embracing her brother. Meanwhile, the guard captain followed behind. "Where did you run off to? Why did I lose control of the ray? Or perhaps there were too few spirit stones and the ray collapsed. I just saw Steward Sun die. This is worthy of celebration." No one escaped, dodged Zhuo Fan. "Brother Zhuo Fan, I was too reckless before, unaware of your plan, and still cursed you. If you must punish me, I will accept any that you might have for me. Even if you ask for my head, I will gladly offer it." Sighing inside, he helped Captain Pang up. Captain Pang is a captain of the guards, while I am just a mere servant. How could I receive such courtesy? Moreover, we have young Miss to thank for setting up an array to eliminate Steward Sun's group. Zhuo Fan understood her and quickly said, "Now that we no longer have Steward Sun breathing down our necks, what does young Miss intend to do next?" "Oh, we were planning on seeking shelter at Kai Manor." Captain Pang spoke before she could. "You should know that Kai Clan's young master has a marriage agreement with young Miss. According to this body's memories, Kai Clan was the best clan in the Wingate city, of the same power as Luo Clan. If he could hand over the Luo siblings to them, then the grudge would be settled and his heart demon lightened. Maybe it could even be dispelled." Zhuo Fan nodded at this thought. "All right, let's go to the Kai Clan." At the same time, in a dark cave atop Blackwind Mountain, a malevolent youth was on a large seat. His eyes were filled with cruelty as they flit to his subordinate, any news of Steward Sun. Reporting to young Lord, Steward Sun said he'd soon have the martial art. The bandit was shaking like a leaf, fearing to even meet the youth's eyes. The youth rose and moved behind the cover placed at the back of his seat. An old man lay there, glaring with fury at him. His lips trembled, but no words came out. The youth patted the man's hand with a smile. "Master, be at ease. Your friend left first and is waiting for you. Once returning Dragon Palm arrives, I will reunite you to old friends." Wingay's city was the largest city in 100 miles and a 10-day journey from the Luo clan. From fear of other bandits pursuing them, Zhuo Fan and the others sped up and reached it in 5. Once inside, the bustling of the city assaulted them while also bringing some comfort. All the tension accumulated over these past days seemed to seep from them. Luo Yuncheng spoke before Captain Pang could. "We don't need to go so quickly. Yunhai and I must make an official visit first, then I will come see you. Stay at a tavern in the meantime." "So annoying," frowned Zhuo Fan. "Humph, stinky slave. Wingay's city is my sister's domain. Just you wait, see how I'll deal with you." Luo Yunhai crossed his arms and flared his nostrils, becoming the same old impertinent young master from before. He didn't get to enjoy it, though, as Zhuo Fan delivered a healthy kick to his rear. He flew a meter and landed on his face. Luo Yuncheng rushed to help her brother and glared at Zhuo Fan. "Why do you always pick on a child? It's your brother who needs a spanking." Zhuo Fan shot her a look, then waved. "Go already. After you settle in, if you still look at me with such discontent, I will not hesitate to leave you." It was then he heard a ruckus. He went to see a stall owner and a red-faced girl in a heated dispute. He led Captain Pang through the crowd's center and saw the girl's appearance. She wore white clothes, with fine eyebrows like a crescent moon, and looked calm and gentle. Even when yelled at, she never lost her smile, as if she never got angry. She persevered despite opposition. "This black jade is fake." "How is it fake?" "This is the purest black jade, one that if left in the sun for a day, will still feel cool to the touch. If worn as a pendant, cultivation will be much easier." The man spat non-stop about how pure it was. "Young miss, do you understand what I'm saying?" She shook her head, but her smile never faltered. "I do not know much about black jade, but I have seen one, so I can tell this one's a fake." "Ha ha ha! You saw it once and dare to say you find this one fake? Did you hear, everyone? Has there ever been such an absurd situation in the world? It has, and I know I'm right. If we talk about price, the worst black jade is worth 10 spirit stones, while the best 100. Yet yours is only 3. That black jade is indeed fake." A man's voice echoed out, and the crowd saw Zhuo Fan watching the girl with a smile. "Young misses are true, but cannot explain where the fault lies. As everyone knows, reality is a matter of perception. What's real can be fake, and what's fake can be real." If you enjoyed watching this video, please leave a comment, like and subscribe to my channel. Part 2 will be released soon. Stay tuned and have a nice day.